Good afternoon. I am going to be walking you through my own personal site redesign, as well as an online workshop funnel that I've been developing, just so you can see what my general process is and what I offer to clients and in my classes. So for my project, I used a combination of these programs, Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, Figma, and Editor X. I'm kind of going back and forth with Editor X. It is a more advanced design program offered by Wix that's more comparable to a site builder like Webflow. It definitely has its pros and cons, and I'm figuring out what my preferred no-code web developer program is. So in my particular case, the problem I was solving was to update my online presence and have a working sales funnel to offer remote teaching curriculum and platform to education-based solopreneurs and startups. So that was kind of a mouthful, but to boil that down, basically I want to create an education platform for educational solopreneurs. So that is my specific niche, is people working on their own to teach skills to others. So some of my pain points I dealt with were having an inflexible schedule. So I had been teaching college and high school, and especially high school requires you going to a building, very strict set schedule with the periods, and it wasn't serving my ideal audience. Now, high schoolers are great, but I found that it being a public magnet school, it was a mixed bag. Not everyone wanted to be there. And so I did spend a lot of time just managing behavior and not actually teaching the content. And so it definitely wasn't an ideal work environment for me. And my website was outdated. I felt like the portfolio was unfocused. The style wasn't as professional as it could be. And I was using Wix's older editor, which didn't have as many advanced features. And I didn't really have any sales funnel to get clients interested in my online course. So I had a two-prong approach for my solution, and that was to rebrand my website and to build this marketing funnel. And so my process was broken up into 4 general stages, which I'll be going over in this slideshow. But the 4 stages are based on the design thinking process, which is discover, define, design, and test. So during the discovery phase stage, I looked at a lot of other educational platforms for inspiration. And I used some sites that offered design patterns and design layouts. There's one I really like called Mobin. And so I gathered images from apps and sites like Duolingo and Masterclass, Brilliant, and others like that. And I used a really cool plugin for Figma that allows you to actually import HTML websites into Figma as designs. And so I took those and I sort of mashed them together to create a new design. In the process, I also did some research of conducting family, friends, and like my over 100 students, and also sent out some messages on social media to find out what type of course would best serve entrepreneurs. And so here are some statistics I pulled real quickly from Google Forms. And I found that the main place that people go for new skills is YouTube. And for a lot of these entrepreneurs I surveyed, they were willing to pay $100 to $1,000 for a weekend workshop. And they thought 2 of the most valuable skills would be reaching their target audience and developing a professional, consistent brand. And most of the people that filled out the survey were small business owners. So once I had done some research, I took those stats and put them together I used some AI software to help me generate a user persona for an ideal client of this entrepreneur class. And so the quote that the AI generated was, "I get overwhelmed when it comes to figuring out which web builder to use. I don't have any time to sit down and learn it." So this is Sarah Martinez. She's 32. She lives in Austin. She's a yoga instructor and personal trainer. And so her pain points or desires were to edit her own site, and she wants higher quality customers and wants to have more consistent branding. So next, I generated some ideas and a user journey and a structure for the sales funnel. So that would start by people engaging with a social media post. So the main social media platforms I'm planning on promoting on are LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, and Reddit, subreddits specifically geared towards entrepreneurship, startups, side hustles. That would take them to the main landing page, which would describe all the details for the workshop. That would take them to my main website. Then there would be a banner, which would then take them to the sales page with all the details. It would link them to the events, which would be the online courses. They would RSVP to those, which would add them to the mailing list. They would receive an email with the details, including the Zoom, and then eventually to the online course, which would be done on Zoom. And here is the structuring of my overall website. So for applying for jobs or to establish legitimacy, I would have my bio and CV. I have a portfolio, which would consist of the list of projects, and then each project would have its own page. And then I would have the workshop itself, which would have its sales page, the events or the dates, and the actual workshop, and then a way to contact me. And so here are some screenshots of the actual site. I have been modifying it ongoingly, but I redesigned my logo just to have my name real simply. And for a long time, I struggled with coming up with what is my title. So rather than just listing a specific title, since I do quite a few things and wear quite a few hats, I just listed the main industries I'm interested in, which are art, design, and education. And then over on the right, I have an icon for if you want to share this site, or if I'm showing someone on the desktop, I can click that and it's going to pop up the QR code. In fact, let me, you could just go to the website, it's telix.com. But I'm also going to link to my social media here, and then I have this sort of grid hamburger menu. And then this would be a video background showing various clips of me teaching and videos of me at schools and tutorials. And then the two main things that I would link to would be my creative projects and the workshop. So here are some images of the site on the mobile view. And you can see this is the QR sharing screen. So this is kind of like a calling card. People can just quickly scan this and go to my website. All right. So for the workshop itself, I ended up using Figma to design over 42 slides, going over the basics of the importance of branding and design and entrepreneurship. And this would promote the actual 9-week course. So once I did my initial launch of my free workshop and I shared my website with my students as a design project to get them used to giving feedback in design, I got a lot of design feedback. And some of them were like direct messages from friends, and others were forms they filled out or handwritten messages. But I built quite a long list. It was probably over 50 adjustments to make. So some key takeaways to go over with this presentation that I learned from this process are have clearly a defined vision, goal, and set of offerings, and have a solid understanding of what your audience wants. Allow ample prep time for potential attendees who plan to attend the event, which is why I've extended the start date for the workshop by over a month. Be open to constant feedback and make frequent updates. That is the key, is the slow iterative updates. And consistency is key in branding, content, and presentation. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I hope that gives you an idea of what my design process is like. Thank you.